welcome back to Who Let Me Do This. Me, and also you. So we're just gonna talk about it, okay? Oh man, oh man, oh man. I have just been talking about this, that, and the third for the last few weeks. So now we are really gonna get into it motherhood style. This is for the moms, this is for the toddler teachers, this is for all of you, because we're just gonna get into it and say that my son is 15 months now. We are fully in toddler era. Generally, I know that the 1-year-old era is referred to as waddlers. At least at my old daycare job, we called it waddlers. Before that, it was called first steps. So make of it what you will, but my son is a full toddler, okay? Like, I don't care. He's not 2 yet. He's not 1.5 years yet. He is just full toddler, okay? And he is in the mode, which to me is nothing new. And I'm very grateful for my experience being a daycare teacher, being a teacher in general, because I have seen a lot of stages and a lot of eras for a lot of the kids I used to take care of. Now seeing it with my son, it's like, okay. As I've said in previous episodes, so if you haven't watched any of them, especially the ones that like, this is why your kid's an asshole, or I don't think I want to work with kids anymore. That was a big one. I'm still standing heavy on that. Like, I think I'm pretty positive into not directly working with kids anymore, but maybe something along those lines, because it is very tiring and it is very draining. And now being a parent, I get to be drained 24/7, but in all the good ways. And for me, it is so worth it. But I will say, as a daycare, toddler teacher, whatever you want to call it, I was drained 95% of the time at work. And then coming home, I needed to just like lay down because it was a lot. And then going from that to working as a paraprofessional, working with kids that have like autism and behavioral issues and other like developmental things, damn, that really sent me. Like, coming home was, the drive home sometimes was silent and sometimes it was very loud. That is all. I wanted to talk about toddler era that I'm going through at the moment, because this is not really like a cry for help or anything, but I just want to know if any of you guys, if your partners, especially dads, are feeling some type of way, because my husband is a gem. He is amazing. He takes care of us. He takes care of me. He takes care of our son. I feel like personally, and moms, maybe you could feel me on this, and I've talked about this also with my friends, that he is struggling with the whole aspect of Brian being a toddler, but also like the disciplining when he's going to, I hate saying discipline, but it really is true. When he's doing things he's not supposed to do, or when he's not listening. And I think he's always wanted to be the fun parent. And up until now, like, he's been the fun dad, the fun parent. And I'm the one that's enforcing things and setting boundaries. And I think, and this is no offense to him, so I'm not trying to like bash him or anything, but he has a very hard time, or had a hard time, or just never set those boundaries when he started becoming more independent and walking around and crawling. Because now, if you're a teacher, it is a lot more difficult to set those boundaries and those, why do I want to say regulations? That's not right. Want to set those like standards, and I feel like my husband's having a hard time setting those boundaries now, because when my husband is trying to like set boundaries now with Brian, he just kind of looks at him and goes, hey, like he's like everything's funny, everything's a joke, and no, it's not. So there's that. But I also feel like, I also believe that since I have had more experience working with little kids like this, that I'm already like kind of in teacher mode. Like, I already know what to do. I know how to speak to him. I know how to, give the choices and to try to quote unquote gentle parent as much as I can, I guess. I don't really know what my parenting style is. I think it's more, I just call it teacher. Like, I just go from, take my teacher mode and just put it into my mom body, like put the teacher mode into the mom slot in my brain. And that's just basically what I do. But with there's a lot more like understanding behind. there was a lot of understanding and acknowledging feelings when I was a teacher, but it's just different, again, because it's your child. It's not someone else's child. It's not just, black and white. This is what it is. It's kind of like, okay, well, this, or this. And especially when he starts speaking and saying how he's feeling, or what he wants, or why he can't do certain things, or when he gets mad, like, that's going to be another bridge we're going to cross when we get there. But for now, I feel like the way that I'm speaking with him and the way that I am setting those boundaries has been very beneficial for me, but also not so much for my husband. Not even just the fact that he works all day and just sees him at night, But this has really just been like, and I'm just opening up a slight door here because I don't like to, you know, put life like that out there anymore. But weekends are hell, you guys. They're hell, at least for me, because I don't know, maybe it's because I feel like I know how to parent. I don't really know how to describe it. Like, I just wish I could take part of like that mommingness out of my brain and put it into my husband so that he can do the same thing with him and I wouldn't have to worry so much. I feel like I've kind of felt this way since Brian was a baby, to be honest. And I just kind of in my head expect him to be the same way as me. And that's clearly not realistic because he is his own person. He's going to be a dad the way he wants to. I have to say, for the most part, Brian he's a very, very good boy. And his personality is shining through. He likes to joke around and be funny, but he also does like his alone time. As I explained in the last episode, that clearly my son likes to have his own time to play alone. But I think that's a lot of kids nowadays, and then there comes with the interacting with other kids, which I mean, I don't know why that scares me so much because I've watched other kids do that and it was fine. But it's funny because at this age, kids are not going to be like playing with each other. They are going to do what we call parallel play, if you know what that is. Basically, it's just when your child is playing with a toy next to another child that has their own toy. Like, they're just next to each other. They're not really interacting that much, if at all. And that's completely normal for this age. That is also something that when we do go to baby play or when we are around other kids, that I'm like, please don't take his toy. Please don't take their toy. Please don't do this. Please don't do that. And I mean, it will happen. That's just the way it is. And sometimes they will throw fits and have a tantrum when they don't get their way, which is also normal. And you just kind of have to grin and bear it, and it will pass and it will be fine. And I think that's also another area where my husband like has expressed some like worry, is that like, everyone stares at me when he throws a tantrum. Okay. Everyone stares when any kid throws a tantrum. Let's be real. Like, I literally watched a mom bring her couple kids to the park. Like, over the weekend, we went to the park. And this mom brought her kids. They were like older, and literally they weren't even there for like maybe 5 minutes, and they started fighting, and mom was like, nope, get back in the car. We're going home. Get back in the car. And they were like both crying, walking to the car. And I'm just like, well, and everyone's staring, but that's just the way it is. You got to do what's right for your child in the moment. Toddler era is fun. I'm not going to say that it is hell or anything, but I do like that he is becoming a lot more independent. And I've also realized how much they say time really is a thief, because I'm looking at Time Hop from a year ago, you guys, from when I was doing cute little Halloween craft with him. He would just play in his little play gym. I'd watch Halloween Baking Championship, which low key, a girl got to get back on watching that. And it's just like, wow, like a year ago, I was just tiny baby, and now he's a full kid. Like, someone said to me at Walmart the other day, one of the girls that knows my mom and I, she was like, he looks like he's 2 already. And I was like, don't say that to me. Don't say that. Like, it's crazy. He went from size 3 sneakers, now he's wearing size 5s. Probably a little big, but whatever. Crazy. Like, he looks like he's full on 2 years old, which is just insane to me. Toddlerhood is also interesting because it is so much fun, but it also can be so stressful because you never know what's going to happen during the day. You never know, like certain situations, or it's the most unpredictable like stage, I have to say. As I've said in previous episodes, and this is for all the moms and dads out there, especially with setting boundaries with your kids and, you know, setting those standards of like, this is what is kind of expected of you, but also this is your choices, and sorry, this is what it is. And if it's not, whatever. But obviously still acknowledging their feelings. It's such a complicated thing. It really is. And I know there's probably parenting experts out there that can say it better than me. And again, this is all from my own experience that I'm saying all this. So I can say that consistency and discipline, however you choose to live your life, I'm not judging. And the boundaries thing really is the key. It really is the key to getting through the toddler era. And if you have certain, you know, like, okay, well, if you're going to do that again, then we're going to do this. Follow through on what you're going to say. Follow through. If you don't follow through, they're going to walk all over you, which is, now I'm thinking, is probably why. I don't know. We're just in a weird like area right now with Brian. I mean, I think I'm fine for the most part. Like, I just love watching him like learn how to do puzzles, and he loves cars now, and his little train toy where you put the blocks in. It's like a VTech one. It's so cute, and it has like a little seat. Highly recommend for Christmas. Oh my God, love it. My son loves it. Watching him is just like, oh my gosh. But then there's the other side where it's like, great, now we're gonna start tantruming, and we're gonna start like, okay, like the feelings and the emotions and everything's coming out. and this is what it is. But I also do want to say that it is important to acknowledge your kids' feelings and their emotions and what they're feeling in the moment. It does help, especially when you're all pissed off and mad and you're just like, I'm done, because I've been there so many times already. I'm like, all right, I'm just done with this. Literally just saying like, I understand you're mad. I know that you're mad. I know that you're sad. I know that you're, whatever. But this is going to happen because X, Y, and Z. It's the best way to deal with those kind of moments. If they will listen to you, sometimes they just need a break. They need like 5 minutes or whatever before you can get to their level and talk to them. Be like, hey, this is what it is. I know that you're upset. I know that you're mad because you couldn't have this, but you cannot because X, Y, Z. That's usually what the best way, what I always used to do with my toddlers, and that's what I do with my son. And 9 times out of 10, it does work. Does it work all the time? No. Do we just end up just like being upset and tantrum? Yes. I mean, I will say we're not in full tantrum mode, but we are definitely like on the verge. Like we are definitely more so with dad than me, because dad's trying to set the boundaries. And I'm just already here like, okay, we got the boundaries, but it does still happen. Like kids are not predictable. They can be at times, but they're very, very unpredictable. You really don't know what you're going to get every day, which is part of the fun and also part of the anxiety. The other thing I did want to just briefly mention too is that everyone likes to talk about the terrible twos. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you guys something, okay? Terrible twos are one thing. Terrible threes, aka a threenager, you know, I would take the terrible twos any day. I have had so many instances where I've had a child in the twos and they were just, they're going through it. They're going through the motions. They have their feelings and they're angry and they're sad and they're this and that, or even if something's going on at home, like, I've had the whole 9 yards. I still would rather deal with that than the terrible threes. And yes, it's a thing. Oh, it's a thing. I've had a few kids, and this mostly happens when they're transitioning to preschool. So any parents out there listening to this, just know that transition from 2 to 3 to being, or from like their toddler room to preschool, like once they're in preschool, especially in that transition period, they're going to think they're on top of the world, that they're big boss man, that like nothing's going to get them. And they're like, yes, this is me. Which I always think back to the transition schedule at my old daycare job, because it really didn't make sense. It was 2 weeks long. And it didn't really make that much sense, at least to me. I feel like personally it should have just been 1 week, but whatever, I rest my case. But every time that one of the kids would come back from their transition, like they would go there for like an hour a day or for half the day or whatever it was for that day, they would be crazy. They would be out of control. They'd be like, why am I back in this baby room? Why am I here? Why am I, doing this? Like, why am I still with you? Ew, I want to go back over there. Like you could just see it come out as like the time went on. Many parents out there, they're going to think they're big man on campus once they go to preschool. Like, trust me, like once they're done with that baby toddler room, they're like, okay, bye. Like, I want nothing to do with you. Like, get out of my face. But we have had some angels in the toddler room, at least I did. And when they got to preschool, like all broke loose. Like they have all these behavioral things going on, they're acting out, they're wild, they're throwing things, whatever the case was. And we would all be like shocked to hear about this, like, oh my god, they were so great in our room. But again, there could be many factors and many reasons for it, besides the fact that they didn't necessarily have a terrible 2 stage, but also probably because that transition is a big one. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter. Like for some kids, it's going to take longer to adjust, acclimate, or like someone like me that has a really hard time with change. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes that change is just really big for some kids. I mean, there's no excuse for all the behavior, parents, you do what you got to do for your kid, but it may happen. And if it does, roll with the punches, do what you got to do, figure out a solution, talk to their teacher. But nonetheless, I will say, in conclusion, I would rather have the terrible 2s than the terrible 3s, personally. I would rather just get it all done now, so later on we can just enjoy and have our tantrums here and there, and like, growing up and getting ready. Oh my god. And then there's like kindergarten. Oh my god. I'm already like freaking myself out, because eventually, yes, as I've said before, my son will be going to preschool. I want that for him. I've even like considered it like when he's 2, like maybe he should start going to something like an hour for like a couple days a week or something. I don't know. I have to look more into it, but that's just a parent personal a thing for me personally, because I do feel like toddlers that have been in daycare have a more, I don't want to say easier time in school, but I feel like they're like acclimated to it better because they've just been in daycare the whole time. But then I've also seen parents that have left their kids in daycare from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and not given a single like every single day. I'm not talking about a once in a while thing where like, oh, like they went out for the day, they had a day off, like they just need a break. Like, no, I'm talking every single day without a given. I see where it's beneficial for the daycare, but as someone that has worked in daycare, I personally would not put my child in full time, and it's expensive. And the teachers don't see a penny of what you're paying. Just throwing that out there for any parents that are like, why am I paying all this money? These daycare teachers are gonna be making bank. No, they're not. No, they're not, because I was not. And I know that a lot of them are not now. So, well, I said the word no. Okay. Anyways, basically it's like you can't win though. I feel like no matter what you do, no matter how you discipline or set the boundaries or whatever, but all I can say is that I've seen so many kids, not just online, but also in real life, like everything just goes over their head. You can tell that they were not, I don't want to say disciplined, but you can tell that there's no boundaries between the child and the parent just gives them whatever they want and blah, blah, blah. We've talked about this. We've talked about this. You guys know what I'm saying. I am trying to not have that be my child as much as possible without being an overbearing parent, because I've also worked with somebody at my old daycare job for many years that I feel like was a very overbearing parent. I mean, personally, like now I get it to a degree, but I still would not be as like hands-on, like, as they were. That's just me. It's weird. This world is just weird. There's a lot of things going on. It's just the parenting thing's crazy. Social media is just terrible, and all the mom shame. Like, why are you shaming other mothers? Why? Unless someone's doing something very dangerous to themselves or their child, why the do you care? I just don't get it. Back to the toddler era, okay? I actually have to go pick up Brian because he spent the morning and afternoon with my mom so I could have a break, and I had a plan to do some things, and guess what I did? Nothing. I'll tell you what I did. I took a nap, which is not like me. I don't like to nap during the day. I feel like I don't sleep at night. I always have weird dreams when I nap too. I also put away his laundry, and I cleaned a little bit. I made my afternoon coffee in my Venus cup and took my hair down. What else did I do? I'm doing this. So this is off my checklist, but yay, we're getting something done. All I can say is that this era I'm excited for, but I'm very nervous for as well, because I'm starting to feel like now I'm going to start doing things wrong. Like, oh, maybe I should put them in like some kind of play group or daycare like a few days a week, or maybe I should be doing this for him, or am I doing the right thing? I've always had these thoughts the entire time since Brian's been born, but like now it's like accelerating because I'm like, okay, he's becoming more self-aware. He's becoming a person, and it's like, okay, like I just want him to grow up to be a person that has values and morals and knows right from wrong and is not, dare I say, stupid like a lot of these kids are nowadays. So that's what it comes down to every time. It's like, are we doing the right thing? If you guys are in with me, let me know. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm just nervous, and I kind of hope that my husband will find his way being a dad. I mean, he is a great dad. He is amazing to Brian and an amazing husband to me, but I feel like he also, he's got to figure it out on his own too. So stay safe. Don't be stupid. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye. That was for my video, but you guys get an extra, I guess.